Gralk, which taps him down, which is the late game. Obviously, I've got what's it called? The other thing. This will be interesting to see if he goes over me. So I'm gonna stick with this. I think not great, but I'm gonna stick with this. The other thing is I've got what's it called? Buccaneer. Buccaneer deals with fists pretty well too, because a lot of times your opponent's casting him on turn 4 or 5 at earliest, and hopefully you've taken control of the board state before then. Plus they have to sacrifice cards to get to him. They have, every time they cast Chlorophylla, it's a sacrificed card basically to get there. Okay, that's a really good opening card for him, so hopefully we won't see Specters too early in this game. If we do, it might be a problem. Countermagic may not be as relevant in this game, actually. So that's actually a really good draw for us. So that'll allow me to, yeah. So we'll just start out with that Pack Raptor. And, actually I'll probably play the second Pack Raptor here. Although it does kind of fill up my deck, I don't feel like he's going to have great answers for them. So, if I felt like he has some sort of sweep or something, I would probably play the Shard and then cantrip Sensei to see if I could draw another resource. But again, when you're playing these early Pack Raptors, you got to remember you're making it a lot harder to draw resources, which could be important to you. Not sure what's going on now. Okay. So, oh, I've got the Windows turny thingy. I don't like that. Okay, good. Kitty cat's at my feet. I'm okay with having the cat on my lap when I'm just doing these casual games, but I'm not okay with it when I'm trying to do a show. I don't even know if with fist decks, if I would really even need to side in a whole lot. If I would have a lot of side in, maybe like a Chaos Key if I have one on the sideboard, which I probably have one or two of those, but it's so slow for this deck, and Countermagic does a much better job when you're in Sapphire than Chaos Key ever could. Because, you know, there's no uncounterable cards, but there are untargetable ones. Well, I guess Countermagic doesn't take care of untargetable cards, although it should. It's not playing properly yet. So, let's see here. Let's see what we draw. It'd be nice to actually draw another resource here. Yeah, there we go. So, I'm only going to play the Pack Raptor here before combat anyways, so I can play my Shards of Fate, because I have nothing else to cast. So, I can get... Pretty sure that 1 is the top resource for the deck anyways, so... I'd rather get a Sapphire here, because I don't need any more than 1 threshold for all of my wild cards in here. Time Ripple is good. I feel like it's more of a... It screams to me that it needs to be in like some deck like this, where it's more of a straight tempo deck. I mean, this deck isn't really tempo. This deck is card advantage, card draw. So Time Ripple wouldn't be a bad choice. It's a nice 2-drop. It's a temporary fix, whereas, and I can't really bounce it with things. It's not a bad choice though. I mean, I could play Time Ripple definitely in the sideboard, especially against Fist, because like I keep bouncing Fist, he becomes irrelevant. You know, between Buccaneer and Time Ripple and all the only problem, probably the bigger problem with Fist decks is turn 2 Crash Abyss and then turn 3 Crash Abyss if they actually draw into that. That's a much bigger problem than Fist ever could be for me. Because I don't have a lot of mass removal in here. I don't have any actually. So yeah, turn 2 Crash Abyss and then a turn 3 followed up with a turn 3 would be that's like a win for that deck. It has a lot of nice win cons, to be honest. So there's that Gralk. It's going to win us the game. I can almost guarantee it. So I can actually sit on Countermagic here, possibly. I'm not sure if I need to or not. I feel like I should. With 2 Countermagic, I think I should. I don't think I really need to play the Sensei. It really doesn't... I don't feel like it puts a better clock on things by enough by itself. So I think I'm just going to sit on this Sensei and not play him here. I have the 2 Countermagic to play, and I can basically decide. Now you need to make a good decision. It's the same thing you got to talk to yourself. It's kind of like, okay, when I see the card that he's playing, can I deal with it in any other way? Is it a must counter, or is it like maybe good to counter? Or so I really kind of have to weigh the decisions here when I'm looking at what cards I want to counter or not. Also, it's going to add a lot of time to this match, but yeah. So I'll take the 1. That's perfectly fine. I've got him on 6. I've got him on like a 3-turn clock is what it looks like here, unless he can answer these 2 Pack Raptors. So if I can keep tempo here, it's really good for me. Air superiority, perfectly fine. I can deal with that. I am perfectly fine with that. Plays another Chosen. I think I'm okay with that too. Perfectly fine with that. Even if he gives him flying, my Pack Raptors deal well with him, so I don't need to counter either one of those cards. I can just sit on counter spells. 2 Countermagic at this point in the game seems really good. There's an Eldritch Dream, which I don't think I can play. I think I'd rather just sit on Countermagic because my board position is really good right now, so I'll just sit on the Countermagic. Swing 4, still on a 3-turn clock. I've seen a lot of people throwing away their Chosens, and I have a hard time doing that personally. I'm not sure how people are doing it. Maybe it's more than 3 turns. Maybe it's 4. So I take them down to 6. Yeah, it's like 3 more turns. It's 3 turns now. Now it's 3 turns. Just now. Now, I am letting him throw lots of Spectres in the deck, but I can counter him, so I'm probably going to have to, actually, if he plays a Spectre, counter the Spectre and make him more expensive. Which actually seems really good. I can get off after this one. Mono Ruby, hopefully I'll draw my Pack Raptors, but I can actually trade Ancestors Chosen there. So, I mean, again, I have a lot of low-end stuff. Even Sensei is pretty good there. So a lot of the stuff in Ruby got nerfed after John played it because, you know, he owned with it. And because of that, for that exact reason, a lot of the things in there got back ends of 1. Okay, so I can easily play this Pack Raptor here to buff my guys, and I still have Countermagic open. If he counters it, I'll let him at this point, because I still have board position, no counter, so that's really good for us. Puts him on a quicker clock now. He's on a 2-turn clock. Yeah, the Countermagic's open, so we're really good here. Took me quite a while to get this deck together. You know, it's hard for me to break old habits because Crash the Beast has been so good to me. It was really hard for me to get rid of that card, but it's just way too clunky to play in this deck. So anything he plays here, I counter. Doesn't matter what he plays, and I win. I should win here. Well, no, he can double block, so I countered this phase, and I can counter the next phase. If I draw into a resource, I can tap him out too. So this looks really good for me, I feel. Yeah, these Chosens, like, I don't even care about them. They're, like, not even there. I wonder if he knows that I have counter. I wonder if he's hearing me talk about it. He knows I have it. Okay, so I can Gralk here if I draw. No, I didn't. Okay, so I might as well make my Pack Raptors bigger. Actually, that's it. That's it right here. So if he counters this, I'll counter in response. Because that puts 4 damage, and he can't block it all. He can't block all 3. So he counters, I counter in response, and then we crash the game. I think this crashes the game. It has a good chance to. Yeah, so I get my Pack Raptor through. He only had 3. He couldn't double counter me, so because he didn't have 6 resources up. So that puts three attackers through. One of them's going to be a 4/4, and of course the Pack Raptor won't resolve here. So, but we all know what would have happened. What about Overrun in this deck? I don't think it's a good choice. Are you talking about playing against Overrun?